All right, let's dive into the body's incredible communication network. We're going to look at two very different types of messengers. One is like a sprinter, built for pure speed, acting on the outside of a cell. The other, it's a marathon runner, made for the long haul, working from the inside out. So let's get into how and, more importantly, why.
You know, a great way to think about it is this. How does your body send an urgent, all caps text message versus a long, detailed official memo? Because it absolutely needs to do both, right? Some messages are for immediate, right now action, while others are all about long term policy changes. The body uses hormones for both jobs, but the systems are totally different.
Okay, first up, let's meet our sprinters, the amine hormones. These guys are the body's rapid response team. They are literally built for speed and getting things done immediately. What's so cool is their design is brilliantly simple. They're just made from single modified amino acids, things like tryptophan or tyrosine, the basic building blocks of proteins. And what that means is the body can whip them up really easily and keep them stored, basically ready to launch at a moment's notice. And this, right here, is their superpower. They are water-soluble. That means they can dissolve directly into the bloodstream, which is mostly water, right? So no special escort, no bodyguard needed. They just jump in and race to their destination. So their action plan is super direct and incredibly fast. They're stored and ready to go. They travel solo through the blood. And because they're water-soluble, they actually can't get through the cell's fatty membrane. So they don't even try. They just bind to a receptor on the outside. It's like ringing the doorbell. And that triggers a whole cascade of events and a response inside, all without ever stepping foot in the cell. Now, let's shift gears and meet the other type of messenger, the long-term strategists of the body. These are the steroid hormones. And these hormones are just fundamentally different. They're not made from amino acids at all. They're synthesized from a lipid, cholesterol, to be exact. And unlike the amines, they aren't usually stored up. They're made on demand, right when the body decides a big long-term policy change is needed. And here is the crucial difference. Because they're lipid-soluble, think oil and water, they just can't dissolve in the blood. It doesn't work. So they need a special chauffeur, a transport protein, that basically acts as their Uber to get them through the bloodstream to their target cells. Their whole mission is to go deep. Their fatty nature means they can slip right past the cell's security, the membrane, and walk straight into the main office. Once they're inside, they bind to a receptor, maybe in the cell's fluid or even right inside the nucleus itself, and they start issuing directives that can actually rewrite parts of the cell's master plan, its DNA expression. Okay, let's put our two messengers side by side, because it's here that you can really see how their unique designs lead to completely different jobs inside the body. And you know what's so fascinating when you look at this? Every single difference you see here, how they're made, where they act, how they travel, it all comes down to that one key trait, solubility. Whether they dissolve in water or in fat dictates literally everything else about how they behave. But of all these differences, maybe the most dramatic one is their half-life. And that's just a fancy way of saying how long it takes for half of the hormone to get cleared from the body. Basically, how long does the message actually stick around? For an amine hormone like epinephrine, that's adrenaline, the message is incredibly brief. It's like a quick shout that delivers its instructions and then poof, it's gone. It's got a half-life of only about a minute. It's designed for a short, sharp shock to the system. But now look at the steroid hormone, cortisol. Because it's being protected by its little transport protein bodyguard, its message lingers for much longer. We're talking a half-life of around 95 minutes. It's not a shout, it's a long, detailed directive that really sticks around. So, which specific hormones belong to which team? Come on, let's take a look at the lineup and see where these guys are actually made. So on Team Amine, we've got some pretty famous names. The thyroid gland gives us thyroxine to manage our metabolism. The adrenal medulla pumps out epinephrine for that fight-or-flight response. And the pineal gland? That gives us melatonin to handle our sleep cycles. See? All fast-acting stuff. And yeah, epinephrine is the absolute perfect example of a swift responder. When you get that jolt of adrenaline, that's an amine hormone, getting your heart pumping and your body ready for action in a matter of seconds. Okay, now for Team Steroid. These hormones are directing the slower, more long-term processes. You've got cortisol from the adrenal cortex for stress management, and then you have testosterone and estrogens from the gonads, which direct huge things like development and reproduction.
And cortisol is the ultimate deep director. During periods of long-term stress, it's the hormone that's slowly increasing your blood glucose to make sure your brain has a steady supply of fuel. It's not a quick burst of energy, it's a sustained, long-term resource management plan.
So here's the crucial point, the main takeaway. Your body has these two incredibly elegant and distinct strategies for communication. You've got the amine hormones. They're the fast, water-soluble, surface-acting messengers. They're your urgent text message. And then you have the steroid hormones, the slow, lipid-soluble, deep-acting directors. That's your detailed internal company memo. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Understanding these fundamental differences, how a hormone travels, where it acts, how long it lasts, that isn't just some fascinating biology trivia. It's the absolute foundation for how we design more effective medicines and treatments that can either work with or sometimes against these incredibly powerful systems.